all-new 22 Civic, now on sale at Team Honda on Siegen Lane.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
They said I could find you here. Why are you fishing? Our company's got to ship out 2 full color brochures and 20 color copies. You're killing me.
It's done. Designed, printed, packaged, and shipped.
How?
You just got to know the right people. Baker Printing, the printing people.
How come you get to fish in this private lake?
Like I said, you just got to know the right people. You can know the right people too.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Gesundheit, by the way. Bless you. For those of you that are, Clarence, you're a man of faith. We're talking about Gesundheit. God bless you, Marty. Welcome to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. Here's hoping all is well with you and yours in your world. Since the last opportunity, we had to spend some time with you some 48 hours ago. We start today's show talking about Louisiana news since the last time we were with you. Those of you that have been suffering with roof damage in the aftermath of Hurricane Ida, wondering whether or not you will be able to get any assistance in temporarily fixing your roof, you can breathe a tad bit easier. The deadline to submit applications to Operation Blue Roof has now been extended through October 15th. The Army Corps of Engineers is the entity that is charged with operating the program, and that is, of course, in conjunction with FEMA. It is designed to provide homeowners in the 25 parish disaster area with fiber reinforced sheeting to cover your damaged roofs until some permanent repairs can be made in that regard. If you are in that number, again, you can breathe a little bit easier, but they are encouraging you because of insurance regulations that unless and until you apply and have the sheeting applied to your roof, do whatever you can in the meantime, temporarily, to mitigate whatever damage may occur because of a damaged roof. If you've been, in South Louisiana for the last 2 or 3, 4 days, the rain has returned with a degree of regularity that none of us are pleased with, particularly those who have damaged roofs. And it makes it tough to file an insurance claim for damages if, in fact, you've not done anything to mitigate said damage. So, again, you have until the 15th of October to apply for the Blue Roof program and hopefully get some relief. By the way, the Army Corps of Engineers says to date they are processing, meaning applying the sheeting to actual physical roofs at the rate of about 1,000 a day. So again, don't hesitate. Guys, girls, get those applications in and get some relief. Also, since the last time we were with you, day before yesterday, Governor John Bel Edwards announcing that he was going to extend his executive order requiring face coverings in indoor settings throughout Louisiana. The governor is saying that the mandate will be extended until October 27th. It had initially been set to expire yesterday. The governor last extended the order at the end of August, and since then we've seen a significant drop in the number of cases of COVID-19 here in Louisiana, but the governor still seeing fit to extend the mandate for another month. Now, far be it from me to be the one to tell the CEO of the entire state of Louisiana, Governor John Bel Edwards, what people think about his mask mandate. I would like to extend an invitation to Governor John Bel Edwards to pick me up or let me come down and join him one day, and we go right around the hood where I live and let you see physically how many folks are abiding by the current mask mandate. I think you already know, wink, wink, how many people we're talking about here. You know, it's always amazed me, and I understand the system being the way it is and human nature. I understand how easy it is to get trapped in the vacuum and the bubble. You, not necessarily Governor John Bel Edwards, but politicians in general, will surround themselves with yes people. You know, the ones that tell you what they think you want to hear instead of telling you the reality of the moment. Now, that is what that is. Those people, the yes people, typically have something thereafter, either pushing an agenda, staying in good graces, acquiring more power, whatever. I get that. But at the end of the day, it is incumbent on the individual to at least have some sort of interaction with everyday people. I would love nothing more, and my level of respect would probably go through the roof if Governor John Bel Edwards on any given day would get in the limo, get your bodyguard, pick old Clarence up, and let's ride through the hood. And we'll stop at the corner store where you see all these young brothers stop just this morning to get gas. 12 people during the course of the morning, me going into the store to pay for gas, come back out, pump the gas before leaving. 12 people in and out of the store. 14 if I include the people actually working there. 2 of them had on a mask. It would do wonders for the community and for your understanding, Governor, if you just pop up at the corner store. How you doing? I'm John Bel Edwards. Don't know if you know me or not, but I'm the governor of the state. And I see you don't have a mask. What's up with that? Why aren't you wearing one? You know, I signed this executive order asking people to wear them. I'd just like to know why you aren't wearing them. And typically, after people got over the shock that John Bel in the hood, what's up with that? After they get over the shock, they will typically give you an honest response. It is the only way that you will find out what people are actually thinking. The yes people, you're not going to get that from them. And at the end of the day, if you truly believe that what you are doing is in the best interest of the public, isn't it better that they get it directly from you instead of you formulating an opinion based on what the yes folks have told you? Just saying. Just saying. Finally, in Louisiana news, Capital Region news, I know you probably saw in the last week and a half, we've had 2 juveniles arrested just stone's throw across the river in West Baton Rouge for murder or attempted murder. And of course, just this week at Woodlawn Middle School, an 11-year-old arrested for bringing a gun on a school campus. Y'all, I don't know how many times we, collectively, as a society, are going to continue to hit the snooze bar. The alarm is blaring. It has been blaring for quite some time. And for whatever reason, we continue to hit the snooze bar. You know, it's like in the morning when you're making the commute, you made the conscious decision, knowing traffic's going to be bad, to get up a little earlier, get the kids up a little earlier, get them out to school a little earlier, so that you don't have to rush, okay? Because inevitably, and I've had to grow in this regard, inevitably, you look up in your rearview mirror and here's some clown so close to you, you think he's trying to retrieve whatever item it was he left in your car last night. Listen, it ain't my fault you didn't get your butt out of bed on time. It ain't my fault that you dilly-dallied around and now you're driving like you're Dale Earnhardt Jr. or some freaking body trying to get to work so the boss doesn't get up your butt. That ain't my concern. It's not my fault and it's not my problem. Don't want to be dealing with that? Well, get your butt out of bed a little bit earlier than what you normally do. The same holds true for what we're seeing now. Now, this 11-year-old was arrested for bringing a gun on a school campus. But where did the 11-year-old get the gun from? And why didn't the person in charge at home know anything about the 11-year-old having a gun? Fortunately, no threats were made in that regard. Even more fortunately, apparently, some child saw the gun and alerted authorities. And what could have been a horrible tragedy was averted. Listen, y'all, I get it. I'm old. School. Just for you, Marty. I know it's a different day. But good God, y'all, whatever happened to just regular show and tell? I mean, a 9mm in the backpack of an 11-year-old? Of course, now I guess it only stands to reason when, in the course of a week and a half, we have 2 juveniles, one charged with murder, another with attempted murder. One, by the way, shot a pregnant woman in the head. I guess it only stands to reason that they'll keep getting younger and younger and younger and younger. If, in fact, that happens, we will have nobody to blame but ourselves. Just saying. First break of today's show. When we come back, a little COVID-19 news for you. Some of it probably expected. Others make you go, hey, wait a minute. That's up next when we continue today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, only on the Pelican. Stay close.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
Go where summer leads you in an award-winning Mazda CUV. Find yours during Mazda's season of discovery.
Call, click, or come by and discover your new Mazda today at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, you've probably heard me say before, one of the things that bothers me about modern day society is that we have advanced to a point in time where we have amassed more knowledge than any group of people in the history of our species. We have also advanced to a point where in your pocket right now, unless you are, using a flip phone or walkie-talkies, you have in your pocket a device that allows you to access all of the knowledge mankind has amassed at your fingertips since the beginning of our existence. And yet, we are dumber today than we have ever been. With COVID-19 and pandemic and health scares and all this other stuff, you would think that by now, most Americans would have used this easy accessibility to knowledge to inform themselves. And you would be sorely mistaken if you thought that. Here's why I say that. A new poll from Gallup Polling Organization shows that when it comes to the risk of being hospitalized after contracting COVID-19, Americans are dumber than a box of hammers. Now, before I give you the numbers, I have to state that I understand how it is a large percentage of Americans have no clue what the risk of hospitalization is if you contract COVID, because they've been worshiping at the altar of CNN, ABC, CBS, NBC, and MSLSD. The mainstream media, and we're not going to even get into social media. But the Gallup polling organization called up 3,158 adult Americans, asking, if you catch COVID, what do you think the probability is that you're going to have to be hospitalized? Not that you're going to die, not that you're going to show symptoms. If you contract COVID-19, what are the odds, what's the percentage that you will have to be put in the hospital? Of the folks that identified as Democrats, 41% of Democrats said if you're not vaccinated and you catch COVID, you have a 50% chance that you're going to end up in the hospital. Independents, when asked the same question, if you don't have the shot and you get COVID, what's the chance you're going to have to be in the hospital? 26% of independents said, oh, you're going to end up in the hospital, bro. So then they got to Republicans, those who identify as Republicans, saying, if you're unvaccinated and you contract COVID, what's the percentage number that you're going to have to be hospitalized? Republicans said 22%. You know what the actual number is? If you're unvaccinated and you contract COVID, you know the percentage of people that are going to end up in the hospital? 1 freaking percent. Now, with all this knowledge, all this information out there, Gesundheit, caught that from Marty. Oh, you got the Rona. You got it. You got the Rona. Bill, better go to the hospital. You got it. 1% of people who contract COVID. Let me put that another way. If 100 people get it and they're unvaccinated, all 100, only one person is going to end up having to go to the hospital. Now, the mainstream media and the folks looking to control you are not going to tell you this. Matter of fact, these dullards, these doofuses, these ignoramuses will have you believe that you got the shot, but I'm the threat to you because I didn't get it. But wait a minute, you got the vaccine, right? Well, yeah, but the president said we got a pandemic of the unvaccinated. And according to Democrats, 46% of the people who get it and don't have the shot going to have to end up in the hospital. You see how they play you? Of course, now, they can only do this if you allow it. If you decide, I have all the knowledge that mankind has amassed since the history of our species right here in my hand, and you make a conscious decision to only accept the opinions of ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, LOL, and MSLSD, well, you end up one of those saying, oh, it's 50%. 50% of the people, you don't get the shot and you get COVID, or you're going to be in the hospital. When in actuality, the number is 1%. But they will scare the bejesus out of you to get you to put something in your body that you don't want. They will scare the bejesus out of you to take your rights, your freedoms, and your liberties. And if you don't acquiesce, in the meantime, they're going to call you all sorts of ugly, vile, despicable names. Oh, and by the way, did you see this week where Anthony Fauci now, speaking of COVID-19, has revised the definition of fully vaccinated? That's right. According to Dr. Anthony Fauci, to be fully vaccinated, you got to have your 2 shots and, wait for it, a booster. And of course, we are talking, depending upon whom the individual in the government happens to be, every 6 months, every 8 months, annually. It will never end, y'all. Marty mentioned earlier, well, Clarence, you know they moved the goalposts. These clowns moved the whole stadium. You know, it's one thing to get in the stadium and go, hey, where the goalposts? They moved them. It's something else entirely to get off your exit at the interstate and the freaking stadium ain't there anymore. They don't just move the goalposts. These clowns moved the whole freaking stadium. Meanwhile, the head of the Department of Homeland Security announcing this week, well, yeah, those 13,000 Haitian immigrants that we had under the bridge that just magically disappeared, we ain't test them. Okay, so let me get this right. Americans who live here have been paying taxes their whole freaking lives. If they won't get the shot, you're going to fire them. And to add insult to injury, they won't be eligible for unemployment. And yet, you're going to let folks come in this country illegally. Don't test them. Don't jab them. And send them everywhere. And yet, they will tell you how concerned they are about your well-being. Oh, by the way, did you also, well, I know you didn't, it's rhetorical, because ABC, NBC, CBS, and the rest of those clowns are not going to tell you this. But since this whole influx of immigration has blossomed in the country, we are now seeing instances of diseases that many of y'all can't even pronounce, much less knew existed. Measles popping up everywhere. Let me see if I can find this quickly, because I'm sitting here reading this article and I'm saying to myself, wait a minute. I don't even know what the heck this disease is, what this virus is. And the list is too long. I don't have enough time left in this segment. I'll dig it up for you during the commercial break. And yet, these folks want to take away your rights, your freedoms, your liberties. Gonna fire you, and you won't get unemployment. Meanwhile, we're letting in folks by the gajillions with no concern for testing them at all. And then you wonder why we don't believe what you're saying to us? You can't be that stupid. Then again, it is the government we're talking about, y'all. Just saying. Bottom of the hour break. Had an epiphany, y'all. You got to hear this one. you're going to get a kick and a half out of this one when we come back on today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, business owners. Phase 3. Woohoo! But do your customers know you're back? Well, that's where the Clarence Bug Show and Pelican Broadcasting can help. Right now, we've got great rates on advertising packages to help you get the word out. Shoot me an email at bugsclarence@gmail.com. Or better yet, call me up. I'd love to talk with you. 225-485-6839. Let's get together and make Phase 3 the best it can possibly be.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
Welcome back to today's edition of the Clarence Bug Show. You know, it's funny how life works. You can look at any number of varying things and you'll come to whatever conclusion about those things. And invariably, something will happen. Typically, something mundane, something fairly innocuous, nothing, earth-shattering about it. But it happens, and then all of these things come together with a clarity that you've never seen before. I was following the case of Professor Gordon Klein. He is a professor of business at UCLA's Anderson Business School. One of his students, white student, or as they say in the story, non-black student, came to him and asks, when it comes to the final exams, would you consider changing the rules for my fellow black students? And Professor Klein said, well, what are you talking about? So the student went on to explain that, well, you know, final exam, you could do something like, I don't know, whatever the grade is that, you know, black students make on the final exam, it's typically added in with the rest of the grades throughout the semester, and that's how you come up with what the grade is. How about this? If the final exam will not raise a student's average, then throw it out. Because, after all, they're black. So as any thinking American, freedom-loving American would do, he said, no way. I'm not doing that. Number one, it's discriminatory. Number two, is probably against the law. You're giving preferential treatment to one group based solely on the color of their skin. And then it hit me. You know the difference between liberals and conservatives? This thing hit me after reading this story like a ton of bricks. Liberals want you to be black. Conservatives want you to be, wait for it, an American. Imagine that. Liberals, I'm going to say it again. Liberals want you to be black. Conservatives want you to be an American. You ever notice how liberals have managed to divide us, fractionalize us into all these little bitty groups? Black Americans, gay Americans, heterosexual Americans, educated Americans, despicable Americans, and the list goes on and on and on and on. But what many of you don't realize, and let me say for the record, before you get it twisted, let's get this out of the way up front. There is nothing wrong with having an appreciation of your heritage. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you focus solely, if not more so than anything else, on being black, you can't focus on being an American. Here's the thing, y'all. This country fought a freaking war with itself so that black folks wouldn't have to be black. We could now be Americans. We had an entire movement in this country. The whole world took notice. The civil rights movement. We had that not because we wanted to be black, but because we wanted to be Americans. Now understand something here, y'all. Being an American means you don't have, you don't get, and you shouldn't expect preferential treatment. Everybody has the same rights, freedoms, and liberties across the board. You don't get special status because of the color of your skin, your sexual orientation, your political affiliation, none of that crap. Everybody abides by the same rules. Now, there's something else we all have to have. And that, my friends, is responsibility. See, if you want to be an American, I know y'all slept through history class. I forgive you. But if you want to be an American, that means you get up earlier than everybody else and you bust your hump, hoss. You stay later than everybody else. Why? Well, I'm trying to provide for my family. You, as an American, not a black man, as an American, you show up early for work. When the boss says, we got some overtime, anybody want some? Your hand goes up before he finishes the sentence. Why? Because you want to take care of you and yours. You, as an American, are obligated. And y'all know Black Baptists, we all know the Williams brothers, and their wildly popular song, sweep in front of your own front door before you come sweep in front of mine. See, if we stop being just black people and start being Americans, then we will be just as upset. We'll be more upset when we start thinking about the thousands of young black men killed by other young black men instead of only raising holy hell when a white boy is involved. You know, I hear all the time, as you might imagine, as a black conservative, man, you be hard on black people sometimes. You know what I tell them? I have to be. I have to be my own worst critic. You know why? Because there are people out there, if you're not your own worst critic, they will use that against you. Clarence, I don't want to hear a thing you got to say about this white boy that killed the black guy, because you ain't said nothing about the 10,000 black men that were killed by other black men. You can't use that line with me, Captain. It ain't gonna hold water. I simply tell it like it is. The truth is what the truth is. And at the end of the day, if you are so focused on being black, you cannot focus on being an American. But the Democrats, the liberals, the progressives, they don't want you to be an American. They want you to stay black. You know why? Because if you're black, you need something special. If you're black, you want special privileges. If you're black, you need special help. And guess who gets to distribute all of this and maintain control over your life? Democrats, ding, 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 we got a winner. I'm going to tell you this again. Now, some of y'all ain't going to get it till later. That's okay. As long as at some point you get it. The difference between us and them, Democrats, liberals, and conservatives. Liberals want you to be black. Conservatives want you to be an American. Of course, now, they did tell y'all you can't get IDs. They did tell y'all you need special requirements in school. They even told y'all, if you can't figure out whether to vote for me or Donald Trump, you ain't black. You notice they didn't say, Joe Biden didn't say, if you can't figure out whether to vote for me or Donald Trump, you're not an American. He didn't say that. He said, and I quote, if you got a problem figuring out whether to vote for me or Donald Trump, you ain't black. What did I just tell you? Liberals want you to be black. Conservatives want you to be an American. Final break of today's show. We'll get her done, come back, put that big old pretty bow on this puppy, and we'll wrap up today's edition of the Clarence Bugg Show, right where you've got it, here and only here on the Pelican. Stay close.
Hi, Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to greystonecountryclub.com.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Welcome back to the final segment of today's edition of the Clarence Spud Show. Question, show of hands. How many of y'all believe in aliens, extraterrestrial life? Marty's like, oh. Well, I guess we can put all speculation to rest now regarding whether or not there is other life in the universe, because pop star Demi Lovato has come out now and said that she had a, quote, beautiful and incredible encounter with aliens at Joshua Tree National Park. Quote, we went out into the desert in Joshua Tree, and I basically saw this blue orb that was about 50 feet away, maybe less. And it was kind of like floating above the ground, like 10 or 15 feet. And it was kind of keeping its distance from me. It was a beautiful and incredible experience. She added that she's now convinced former non-believer actor Matthew Scott Montgomery and her sister, Dallas Lovato, that there is extraterrestrial life out there. Now, you may have been saying, particularly if you're anywhere near my age, who is this woman? What is she famous for? Well, since you posed the question, she is the same person that back in May of this year announced that she is non-binary. And, of course, earlier this year, she proclaimed herself a pansexual. Now, if you're anywhere near my age, I know you don't know unless you have kids living at home. You have no clue what the woman's talking about, so I'll help you out. A pansexual refers to someone who is romantically attracted to anyone, regardless of whether they're a man, a woman, a man who identifies as a woman who identifies as a man. So pretty much anything on two legs that breathes oxygen. Oh, that's a good point. Marty just asked me, what about trees? Well, actually, though, no, trees wouldn't qualify because trees take in carbon dioxide and produce oxygen. They're the exact opposite. See, I paid attention in science class too, buddy. Yes, sir. Black man is sleep in every class. No, sir. That's the exact opposite. But I understand the sentiment. Speaking of Marty, he showed me a schedule last year of events we could expect to see in the next 12 months. And one of them happened to be proof positive that aliens are among us. Who would have ever thought Ms. Lovato would be the messenger for people from outer space? Who would have thought? You know, I mentioned earlier how one of the things that is so discouraging to me, particularly as a man who understands and appreciates wisdom and knowledge, it's painful to watch how we have amassed so much knowledge on one hand, and we've gone 180 degrees opposite in the other direction with stupid. I don't know, maybe that's one of the pitfalls of acquiring knowledge. In some convoluted way, the more knowledge you acquire, the stupider you become. Don't ask me how it works. This is a hypothesis here, okay? TikTok announcing this week that they are now banning videos showing the, quote, lug nut challenge. Have you heard about this? Apparently, people, and since we're talking TikTok, I'm pretty sure it's younger people. I can say with a fair degree of certainty it ain't old people like me doing this. But these folks thought it would be a good idea to take off or loosen the lug nuts on a person's car. And then when they leave, you get behind them rolling the cell phone camera and take videos, to see what happens. See, what had happened was, it's painful, y'all, to think we have amassed all of this knowledge, and yet we have people that can't figure out what could go wrong at 80 miles an hour on the freaking interstate with 18-wheelers, tanker trucks loaded with gasoline, and all these other cars around the person, and the freaking wheel comes off the car. Now, I understand, you know, people do stupid stuff these days, and the first thing you hear when they get hemmed up behind it, well, I didn't think it was going, you fill in the blank here. I didn't think it was going to result in anybody getting hurt. I didn't think anybody was going to die. I didn't think the explosion from the gasoline tanker that the car ran into was going to roast 76 people on I-10 in the middle of rush hour. I didn't think. You could pretty much stop right there. Stupid, you didn't think. You can pretty much stop right there. You didn't think. If by chance, and I was just about to say, Lord knows it was coming up and getting ready to come out. Certainly nobody can't be this stupid to where when they get pulled over and hemmed up, they're going to admit, yeah, officer, I'm sorry. I loosened the lug nuts on the car. I wasn't thinking. They're not going to admit it. But if by chance you find out somebody did in fact do that, that's attempted murder. Because anybody with one functioning brain cell should be able to possess the cognitive reasoning skills to say, 2,000 pounds of steel or more at 80 miles an hour, it's designed to run on 4 wheels, and now all of a sudden there's only 3, something bad could happen. And if that weren't bad enough, of course, we've seen it already. If that weren't bad enough, your dumb bleep is going to film it and post it on the internet. The reason I say we've already seen it, what, month and change ago? Walmart here in Louisiana. Teenagers go in the store, steal knives out the kitchen department, and proceed to stab a young girl. And of course, throughout this entire illegal enterprise, they're filming it on the cell phone and then they post it on social media. Marty, your people are out of control. Your people are out of control. This kind of stuff will not stop until we demand better. At least, and I'm no big social media person, God knows I'm not, but I guess at the end of the day, I got to give TikTok a little credit. At least they saw potentially what could happen, and they've removed the videos. The smarter we get, the dumber we become. Is what it is, y'all. That being said, Marty's giving me the signal. My time's up, and I gotta go. But you know what? This day, maybe more so than any other day in history, I give it to you. You know what? You're right. America, we're not perfect. But for this old boy's money, it's the best there is. And God knows there's no place else on his green earth that I'd rather be. Speaking of the good Lord, you do realize by now that he loves you, right? And I hope you know that I do too. Either way, there ain't a doggone thing you can do about either one. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless.